Hey, what is going on, Guardians? Nem here with Planet Destiny, and today we're going to be taking a look at that Malfeasance quest and my overall impressions of the weapon so far and if it's worth the grind. Now, if you already know the quest line and you're solely here for the impressions, go ahead and fast forward to the timestamp on the screen. Now, to begin the quest for the Malfeasance, you're going to need to kill the Ascendant Prime boss in a match point in Gambit. Now, unfortunately, this is purely RNG based. It took me about 14 hours to get this boss to spawn, and I have seen many others have a much longer wait. Now, unfortunately, when the Dreaming City curse resets, the boss will have a much lower chance of spawning, so farming this quest will be a chore. Once you finally defeated the Ascendant Prime, you will be rewarded with the Seething Heart. Take this back to the Drifter to start your quest towards the Malfeasance. Now, the next step will have you kill 25 taken mini-bosses in the Dreaming City. Now, there are multiple ways to go about this. One of the faster ways is to farm in the Devalian Mists with the enemy moves against each other. Alternatively, if the curse is at its peak, you can go into the Blind Well, which is what I did, and farm the Tier 3 and Tier 4 until you complete it. Now, if you are missing one or two taken mini bosses, you can go into the Strand and complete the Lost Sector there to complete this part of the quest. Following that, you will have to do a 580 power level version of the Corrupted Strike in the Dreaming City. As a side note, there is currently a bug that allows you to take a fire team of 6 into that quest. Now, be warned that the game may or may not crash since it's not intended to support 6 people in a strike due to memory issues. The devs are already aware of this and expect to get this fixed promptly or in the near future. However, once you complete this portion of the quest, you will be rewarded the depleted power core. Now, once you have this, go back to the Drifter to go on to the next step, which involves depositing a lot of motes, and you'll need to win 10 Gambit matches. Now, if possible, I do recommend going in with a fire team for this portion of the quest so they can let you collect as many motes as possible. However, be very careful when holding on to a large amount of motes, by the way, because if you do get killed with motes on you, it will decrease your percentage. Keep an eye out for when the enemy team has deposited 25 motes, because at that point, they will have the ability to invade your instance. So if you are holding on to a large chunk of motes and you can see that they can invade, run and bank. It's not worth losing a percentage over an extra mote or two. Now, once you have done that, the final step will be to defeat 25 Guardians in Gambit and either invade and get 4 kills or have an ally do the same thing 3 times. So the quest does give you a little bit of leniency there. If you are not comfortable invading and if you have a friend that is, you can send them over and get a team wipe 3 times. However, granted, with the Sleeper Simulant being as strong as it is, you can go in there yourself, kill 4 people once, and then be done with that portion of the quest. Now, granted, Sleeper Simulant is, of course, kind of like the go-to weapon to use right now in Gambit, just simply because of how hard it hits, the aim assistance, and, you can kill somebody in their super from a mile away. Personally, however, I liked to use the Queen Breaker over the Sleeper. It has a much faster, charge time than Sleeper, and it has a pretty good distance as well, depending on what scope you use. However, granted, not everybody has the same RNG or the same weapon, so if you don't have either of those, tracking rocket launchers work great, and linear fusion rifles like the Manowar or Tarantula are fantastic as well. Now, when you finally complete this portion of the quest, head back to the Drifter to finally collect your Malfeasance. Now, is Malfeasance worth the grind? Short answer, not at the moment. Currently, it's more of a trophy weapon. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Malfeasance. I love the lore attached to it, and visually, it's a very pretty hand cannon. But there are areas where this hand cannon needs to be improved on. After using it for a few days, taking into the Crucible, Strikes, Raid, and the Nightfalls, it's clear that this weapon's only utility is in Gambit, and barely at that. See, one of the traits that it does more damage to Taken and Gambit invaders, But because of how strong other weapons are, such as Sleeper, Go Figure, Ace of Spades, Malfeasance gets outshined incredibly quickly. See, Malfeasance's exotic perk, Explosive Shadows, shoots taken slugs that burrows into your enemies, and when you shoot the enemy 5 times, then they all explode. But the damage of those slug explosions are pretty minimal, and they really only help with some majors here and there, and you'll kill basic red level ads before even proccing the exotic perk. It doesn't really give you the desire to use up your exotic slot. And that's something that you should ask yourself when using an exotic. Is this worth replacing my Whisper or my Sleeper or my Ace of Spades? Now, currently, and honestly, unfortunately, the Malfeasance doesn't really give you a whole lot of reasons to replace those weapons with it. Now, another thing that I noticed while using this gun is that it has a small ammo reserves. Considering the rate of fire of this weapon and how the exotic perk works, where you need to dump in 5 rounds into one ad to get it to proc, it's in dire need of an ammo bump to its reserves. I can't tell you how many times I found myself in every activity short of ammo after using the Malfeasance for a few minutes. Thank God for armor with primary ammo finder, because honestly it's pretty low. Now, as far as how this weapon fares in the Crucible, well, it's not that great, but it's not horrible either. As mentioned beforehand, there are a ton of other weapons that will outplay the Malfeasance. Ace of Spades and the Duke MK44 are the top 2 hand cannons that come to mind that can dominate over the Malfeasance. That being said, under the right hands, the Malfeasance can play just like any other 180 RPM. You just have to be smart about how you approach certain situations. Don't try to contest enemies at a further range, because they might be using a pulse rifle or something, and you will get destroyed, especially with something like the Go Figure or the Right Side of Wrong. If they're rolled with high caliber rounds, the flinch that you're going to get is going to be unbelievable, and you will most likely lose that firefight. It's definitely a niche weapon, and you probably won't see a whole lot of people running it in the Crucible. So overall, I'm hoping to see the Malfeasance get some kind of buff in the future to help it shine outside of Gambit and make it a viable option to play with in PvE and PvP. But that is going to be it for me today, Guardians. Let me know in the comments section below if you've either gotten the Ascendant Prime to spawn, or if you have your Malfeasance, please let me know what you think of it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.